Borchers has been trimming trash and decorating discards forever. Perhaps you know her as Eco Heidi. One of Heidi's creative passions is buttons. So Heidi, does this have anything to do with our playing Button Button, Who's Got the Button when we were kids? I'm delighted to welcome my sister Heidi Borchers. Hi Heidi. You need to click the Ask to Speak, Heidi. There you go. Here's Heidi.
I forget every time to do that Ask to Speak. I just sit here. You know, I think maybe that button game is what got me started on just loving buttons. But there are so many wonderful buttons out there. I have a huge collection. I thought about bringing my collection down to my table, but then I looked at it and I thought, oh, that's a lot of work. So today I am actually using the Blumenthal Lansing buttons that Helen was just so generous to give me. And we're making a bracelet with a plastic water bottle. So Tiffany, you can put the one side of the bracelet on, and then maybe later on I'll show you a few other things that I've done with buttons. And then in a couple weeks I think I'm doing another project with buttons. So let's get started. We got lots of things to show you. Yeah, look at my new hairdo all chopped up. Okay, there's what I'm going to show you today. And we get that out of the way so you can see. Now these are the Blumenthal Lansing buttons. Look at the colors. I mean, I just love them. And they come in little packages like this Blumenthal Lansing. I didn't unpackage the ones that were in different kind of the muted shades, but here's what we're going to do. Now you can use any kind of water bottle. On this particular project, if you use a water bottle that has a smoother edge to it, this happens to be a Smart water bottle. And then there's also ones like this that you can cut in between, and you could have like a little narrow one. I also had, I think it was like a Dasani. This is the rest of a Dasani, which it has like a space in between that's really smooth, and that's where I got my pieces off today. Now what I do is I use the blue or painter's masking tape, because this is what determines my size of my bottle. This is 3/4 inch, or of my bracelet. This is a 1 inch or a 1.5 inches. So what I do is I put tape onto the bottle, and I tape it all off. Again, I'm going to be using the 3/4 inch. And I just put my tape, and you have to kind of be straight about it. Sometimes you have to rearrange it. So I just put it, just like I have done there, I put it all the way around, and this is determining the size that I'm going to have of my bracelet, just like that. Now what I do is I'll take like a craft knife, or like I think I've told you before, when I do so many of them, we do have a bandsaw, and I leave that space, and we just cut it apart like that. Or you use like a craft knife, cut into it, and then once you cut into it, you can get your scissors in and cut around it. Now when you cut them apart, you're going to have some edging on it, and the scissors work perfectly to just cut off all that edging. And again, just keep that tape on until you're ready to pull it off. Now on this particular bracelet, we're going to be marking it all the way around. I just put a little dot in the center, and then I use a paper punch, and this is how I'm going to attach my buttons. And I just use paper punch all the way around. And that's what I've done here. I did this particular one 3/4 inch, so that means I have to get my buttons into that space. And then on this one, we're going to take the tape off. And there you have the start of the bracelet. You can see the holes. Okay, now let's rearrange this really quick. I've got my buttons started here where I laid out what I wanted. And I threaded a needle with some embroidery floss. And I'm going to take my bracelet, and I put a button on the inside. Oh, let's wait and do that. Let me get started on putting this. Okay, we're going to put this one on here. Look at all these cool buttons. Let's put this one first. Like that. Okay, we're going to go thread through the holes. And I'm going to go down through them, go through one of my holes, and I'm going to catch one of these just plain buttons on the back, and that prevents them from coming off. And then I'm going to go back through, hole, go back through the hole, just the single hole, and go into the holes again, another hole. Some of them will have 4 holes, so you just want to pick one. And come up. I guess I should have put my close-up glasses on this one. Okay, come up through. And I think I stitched it. There we go. I'll get my glasses on. Now what you want to do is kind of clip it off, and all we're going to do is tie that into a knot, like so, and you have your first layer of buttons. Easy to do, and see that one button's on the inside, that's holding it on, and there's the top button. Let's go through this one. I'll show you the close-up of this here. See all the buttons on the inside, keep it on. This one was a little bit big by the time I made it, but, and there's all the cool buttons. All these buttons are the Blumenthal Lansing. And again, what I do, as you can see out here, when I started, I line up all my buttons. And Blumenthal has these wonderful little kind of like felt flowers that I also put into it. And they have these wonderful flat little flowers and all these colors and all the shapes and sizes. And they also have like little teeny little buttons that I put into it. So when I'm working on this one, I'm gonna work on this one for the rest of the show. And then at the end of the show, I'm going to give this one away that I'm working on today. So